Welcome to the AthleteEngine podcast, where we talk with amateur and professional athletes from a broad variety of sports. We're sitting down with our AthleteEngine members and asking them to share their training tips, recruiting experiences, and athletic successes. To kick things off, here's your host, Matt Trent.
Welcome, everyone, to the AthleteEngine Weekly Podcast. Today, we have the opportunity to speak with a very special AthleteEngine member. In fact, he's one of our ambassadors. His name is Brandon Davis. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And for those of you out there that haven't come across Brandon yet on AthleteEngine, Brandon is a nationally ranked bull rider. Involved in several national finalist competitions in bull riding, obviously ranked. Just a great guy. We've gotten to know each other a little bit, and he's been in the AthleteEngine ecosystem for a while, and we wanted to have him on the show and spotlight him today and talk about some of the great things that he's going to be doing in 2016, but also talking about his background, and he's just got an amazing story and just a fantastic athlete and guy. So, Brandon, we'll get this thing kicked off. I want to start a little bit in the area of your background. Where do you hail from? I know you're a Razorback, so we have to go there, and then let's just kind of move through your timeline in terms of where you're at, where you've been, and how did you get into bull riding?
All right. Well, I'm originally from Cabot, Arkansas. I was born and raised there. I graduated high school there. Moved to Ohio in 2009. It's pretty much, I thought to myself, if I was going to go ride bulls, I need to go do it on my own, without mom and daddy, and just go figure it out on my own. And I knew some people up here, the Thorsell family, Sean and Denny Thorsell. They raise, bucking bulls. They raise rodeo cattle for the sport, and they also put on events up here in Ohio. It's called Bucking Ohio. They draw 4,000 crowd attendance to this event during the summer. It's just a huge deal. So I moved up here in 2009 just to season myself and start going to enough shows and enough events to where I could, make a run at the PBR. And some of them shows were, the SEBRA, the Southern Extreme Bull Rider Association, and they produce a lot of great bull riders on the East Coast and just really all over. I passed PBR world champion J.B. Mooney, Gage Gaze. He's one of the young guns on tour right now. He's from Daly, North Carolina. But, I just started going to the SEBRA events to try to season myself and really find out if I could make it amongst the best to try to go be the best, And so, I've been up here ever since 2009. And here it is, 2016, and I'm ready to roll. So,
Brandon, I got to ask you, how did you get interested in bull riding?
It's really one of those things that it's kind of hard. If you're really not around it, it's just hard to jump into. But, when I was 8 years old, I watched it on TV. I watched the movie 8 Seconds. If you ain't never heard of that, you got to go watch it. It's just Wayne Frost was an idol to us, and he died back in 1989, the year I was born, and just his legacy and his image pretty much is what sparked the revolution in bull riding these days. It pretty much just produced bull riders and made kids want to start riding. So I just begged my mom to let me start riding bulls, and she wouldn't let me. And my dad's buddies, they all did it. My dad never done it. I'm a first generation rodeo athlete, but my dad's buddies always did, and they would come over and stuff. And at the age of 12 is when my mom finally broke through and let me get on, because them years of just begging her, 4 years of just begging her, she finally gave in. And my dad's buddy Mark Stone, he's like my godfather. He's always been there for me. He gave me my first cowboy hat. He gave me my first bull rope. Heck, he even brought me a little barrel to practice on, for my balance and stuff. So, at the age of 12, that's when I got on my first bull, and ever since then, my mom knew she was in trouble because I wanted more and more of it.
Yeah. Yeah, once you got bit by the bug, you were. We kind of talk about that with. Yeah.
Once it's in your blood, I mean, it doesn't get out. I have a bunch of kids around here in Ohio that just a few kids that I take under my wing a little bit. They're younger, and I kind of help them and train them, and they've never been around it. They just came to our bull riding school that we put on in May, and man, once they at this school, you're going to find out the ones that really want it, the ones that are just doing it just to say, heck, I got on a bull. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because these kids will come around and they'll keep coming back for more. And I picked a few kids, and once it's in their blood, it's not going to come out very easy.
So Brandon, one of the things that, and again, I have a unique opportunity to talk to a lot of different athletes in a lot of different sports, and you're the first person I've talked to that's in competitive bull riding. So this is unique for me. I'm learning every minute that we talk. But it's a common theme that athletes want to help others, and they want to help younger generations of athletes coming up. And why do you think that is? I've heard people have different reasons for it, but it kind of all goes back to the same. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, really, because we were all that kid once, and
yeah,
when you will always have somebody to look up to, and you always wanted that that person to drive you to do that. You kind of want to be that for somebody else too. Because bull riding, and especially, I mean, a lot of my friends, a lot of people out there that are currently bull riders or used to be, used to ride bulls, past champions, they'll tell you it's not always going to be there. Bull riding's a very short, it's a very short sport. It's a young man's sport. There's still older guys that, ride and compete professionally, but their time, their window's closing. So if you could just, them kids that are coming around to the ones that really want it, you're gonna see that, and you're gonna kind of draw to them, because that's the age, and that's the kids that are gonna keep the sport alive and keep it going. So
sure.
if I can help any kid that wants to learn, I'm not the best bull rider out there. I'm not a PBR world champion. I have a couple buckles. I have a PCB world title. Back in 2012 is when I won that deal, but just to help these kids, man, it really fills me. It fulfills me, and it makes me happy. So
yeah,
that's why I do it personally.
Absolutely. And again, I think it's a running theme with all of our athletes, and maybe we're just spoiled here at AthleteEngine that we have so many athletes willing to give back to others and really help that next generation.
Right.
So one of the things I'm curious about is special moments. You've obviously been in bull riding. You're 26 now, so you've been in the sport for a number of years. Can you share a few of your special moments? And it could be something that you've done while training. I know you talked a little bit in the very beginning about how you got into the sport, but some of those special moments you've had. Obviously, you've had championships. You celebrated championships, but I also know there's a lot of other experience besides just winning.
One of my favorite moments, I could say, was my first PBR, Professional Bull Riders event that I attended, actually was entered in and got to compete. That was back in 2010, I believe, in Toledo, Ohio. That feeling, because that's, when I was ever since I was a kid, wanting to become, a bull rider, or just wanting to be a cowboy at that, I wanted to be the best, and right there, being in the alley waiting for the introduction for them to introduce the bull riders to the crowd, that was a milestone for me to be at that PBR event. And I couldn't tell you the feeling I had. I know I had chills from the back of my neck, and all the hair on my arms was standing up because I was just so pumped. But that was really one of the most exciting things that I've got to experience through bull riding.
So Brandon, one of those, when things like that happen, I got to think that it's addictive, that you want to go back and you want that again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely an anti-drug. It's I can't even explain it really. It's just like, you're tying your hand to an 1,800-pound to 2,000-pound animal, that's bred for this, for one. A lot of people kind of misinterpret bull riding, but these animals are bred for this, and they know, when they're in the bucket chute, they know it's game time. And just being down in the chute, you're surrounded by steel. None of them bucket chutes will give. So that bull starts jumping around in there. You got your partners up there to kind of spot you and keep you from banging your head up against the steel and stuff like that. But you're surrounded by solid metal, and that's pretty much the most dangerous part of it. But just tying your hand to an 1,800-pound animal that's bred for this, that wants to jump 10 feet in the air, it's just there's no other feeling like it.
Did you say 10 feet in the air?
Oh, some of them can get on up there.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing.
I do believe there's a bull. He's a world champion PBR bull, and his name's Bushwhacker. This cat used to get above the bucking chutes when he left the chute.
Wow.
And yeah, he's one of the. He's been unridden. I think he threw like 50-something guys off in a row, and then J.B. Mooney is the first guy to actually conquer him, and that's another guy, J.B. Mooney. That's a guy that a lot of us kind of feed off of and look up to. Because this guy's from North Carolina. He's been on the PBR tour since he was 18, and he just recently, he wins the world title in 13, and then he won it again last year. And this guy's just the American story in bull riding, and he drives a lot of us because just the way he rides. He's the dragon slayer in this sport.
Absolutely. Now, did I read this correctly? That bulls are they ranked? Are they ranked like the riders are ranked?
Oh yeah, in the PBR, yeah, they'll be ranked. So you have bulls that actually compete against each other, because in the sport of bull riding, there's 0 50 points to the rider, and then 0 50 points to the bull. So you have a possible of 100 points. Okay. In bull riding, that has been done, but this day and age, to me, there's no such thing as a perfect perfect score at bull riding. But so yeah, the bulls compete against each other. They compete. Obviously, the best bull score throughout the whole season is going to become the world champion bucking bull. So, yeah,
okay.
The bulls are ranked. Now, there's another slogan we have, just that we call, man, that was rank, or, this or something like that was rank, or, that bull was pretty ranked. It means he's really good. Yeah. When you hear, the rank stuff. So, just some terminology, bull riding terminology. But
yeah, absolutely. So last year, what were you riding in last year, and what were some of the highlights for 2015? And we'll talk about 2016 here in a minute.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, 2015 was pretty cool for me. I finished, I believe, in the top 10 in the Zebra Southern Extreme Bull Riders Association. Didn't go to very many PBR events, but as far as trying to stay healthy, we went, we go all year long. There's really no break in bull riding. Okay. There's no season. They have breaks, but there's really not a seasoned event. So you can get on a bull any day of the week. As a bull rider, you can go get on a bull any day of the week, and you can go enter an event any weekend, throughout the year. But in 2015, I was living in Tennessee at the time, and me and a good friend of mine, J.T. Stevens, we traveled, all over. We went through Missouri, Illinois, going to, a couple of rodeos out there. So that's some of the places that, I haven't been out to rodeo. And so it was pretty cool just being able to go out, meet new people and go to different deals that I've never even been to. So, I just kind of step my foot, into other places, just to see what's out there.
So Brandon, what's your favorite venue? Where's your favorite place to compete that you've competed at? And is there some place that you love to compete at that you haven't been able to ride there yet?
Oh, yeah. My favorite place to ride at was in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where I'm from. That's my home state. And Little Rock's just, 20 minutes south of where I'm originally from, Cabot, Arkansas. So I rode there back in 2014 at the PBR event there at the Verizon Center, and man, like there were probably 6,000 people there, but it kind of sits down in like a little bowl, so it's loud. And when they introduce you from Arkansas, I had my family there. I had friends there that I've known all my life. It just like me and a couple other guys, a couple of buddies of mine were from Arkansas, and we're entered in that same event. So pretty much all night when you heard Cowboy from Arkansas, that place went nuts. it was just awesome being in front of my home crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. How about places? How about a venue that you'd love to go to you haven't competed at yet?
Vegas, Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, it don't matter if it's the PBR World Finals or the NFR or just a bull ride. Like I want to go to Vegas and ride out there.
Our tagline for Athlete Engine is "What drives you?" So, Brandon, what drives you as an athlete?
Just to be the best. All my life, since I was 12, I put into bull riding. I focus on this, more than some of the other things I probably shouldn't have focused on as much, But when you put, all your effort and pretty much, your whole young life into something you love, you're gonna do it until you can't do it no more. To be the best and be the best role model out there for the these young guns coming up and the future stars of our sport would be what drives me.
Okay, all right. Let's talk a little bit about your sponsors and then any sponsorship opportunities that you might be looking for or you want to talk about here. So our goal, again, from an Athlete Engine perspective, is we want to connect athletes with sponsors. I know there are a lot of folks out there today, athletes performing, that are trying to gain sponsorships, and there's folks try to help with that, but they help for fees and costs and those types of things. Athlete Engine does not do that. We just try to provide a platform so the athletes can get to those sponsors. So can you talk a little bit about your existing sponsors and then any opportunities for this upcoming year?
Oh, yeah. So a guy that's been with me since I was 13, 14. I mean, I've known him since I was young. He's pretty much like my uncle. Greg Peters, they're out of Conway, Arkansas, but Superior Dodge, they've been with me since I was, a young kid. He's always been there for me since I was young. We're neighbors since I was in elementary school. So he's helped me. He's helped me get to a lot of events, and he's put some money in my pocket to go to events and put me up some sweet shirts and, one of the top of the line bull riding vests that's on the market. So, yeah, I want to say thanks to Superior Dodge for sticking with me. Also, Kimes Ranch, they're a gene company out of Scottsdale, Arizona. They are the best genes out there. I'm not saying that because they endorse me or just because, they give me genes. I'm saying that because it's the truth. Their genes are totally 100% American-made from North Carolina cotton. I mean, you look into, the Western world, you think Wrangler or Finch or just, Ariat, stuff like that. Well, them jeans, they don't get made, they're not made here in America. They're sent overseas. And Kimes Ranch, their jeans last 3 to 1. Any other jeans 3 to 1. And man, they're solid. I've had one of the pairs I ride in literally for a year now, and I think the zipper just started messing up. But I mean, I can still zip them up. So
you'll keep wearing them. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody that are trying to look for a different style of jeans or just better jeans, go hit Kimes Ranch up. They got the best.
Your sponsors, they on a vest, they on shirts, patches.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, and then also opportunities for potential sponsors out there?
Yeah, as far as opportunities for sponsorship, there's plenty of opportunities for sponsors to endorse a bull rider or to market their company on a bull rider. Just simple facts of bull riders really have an entrepreneur in mind. And, if you look at a bull rider, you see, some of them wear a helmet, which, and then others wear a cowboy hat. Even if the guy's wearing a helmet, you could put, a logo or a brand on that helmet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that, and when you're on TV and you got cameras or you got, pictures or action shots of you, you're going to see that. And so that's one way. You got cowboy chaps, that you wear. You got chaps that we wear that you can put a logo on. You got, shirts that you can just fill completely up for any sponsor that just want, a place to advertise their business. Bull riding or on a bull rider is a perfect place to do that because they're getting national exposure, and on social media, if that bull rider has, or is active on a social media page, for my sponsors that are sponsoring me, whatever they're putting out, they're going to get back from me. The opportunity to sponsor any professional athlete, but a bull rider is best right now. You've never heard of the sport. And now you're finding out, how much it is. And the more and more you hear about the sport and you start researching it, you're going to see just companies that are getting involved with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brandon, if there's a company out there that's interested in working with you or talking about sponsorships, what's the best way to get a hold of you aside from your AthleteEngine profile? I encourage all the different companies out there interested in sponsorship to go ahead and sign up for AE and get a profile built and start working with these fantastic athletes like Brandon out there. But Brandon, you as we build AthleteEngine and you've got a couple of different places right now that people can get a hold of you. Want to talk a little bit about your Twitter handle and also Facebook?
Oh, yes, sir. They can email me.
Okay.
They can reach me on my Facebook page, Brandon Davis TBR. Twitter's the same thing. And yeah, my email, you can get at me at bdavis1643@gmail.com.
Well, Brandon, I know you've got some exciting things coming up, and you've got a wonderful opportunity you're telling me a little bit about before the show today that has to do with the PCB tour.
Right.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
The PCB tour is kind of cool and exciting association that I have a chance to be a part of this year and in the future. And it's, I won their finals back in 2012 in Chicago, Illinois. And they come to me they're really, they're wanting to look at ways to make their brand a little bit bigger and they're wanting some of the bull riders' ideas. So a group of us just are getting together and talking about how we can make the PCB, the Professional Championship Bull Riding tour, bigger than ever, because the past few years it's kind of been at a standstill. They have big venues, big events, just not big stuff to talk about, and they're trying to figure out ideas of how they can get involved and make this tour 10 times bigger than what it is, and get it off the standstill. And so, they're looking to base the tour around a few bull riders, and Brant Clark, and he's the COO of the PCB, and Bob Sauber, which is the owner and the founder of it. They came to me and a few other guys and wanting to build the brand, around us, around some of their bull riders that, have been committed to them and that have came to shows for them when they needed it to show and stuff. So, there's a lot of cool stuff going on for 2016, and just getting them in the works and getting them done is what I'm focused on. And, just outside of bull riding, my mind's always working, whether it's for bull riding or if it's just for, other stuff, to build my brand.
Sure.
But, so I'm excited. 2016 should be awesome.
One of the things that's so cool about getting to know folks like Brandon, if folks out there, listeners, have not been on AthleteEngine, get on AthleteEngine, because Brandon puts some amazing pictures out there, and some of his posts just talk about the life and times of a bull rider. And it's just, if you're an athlete, and it doesn't matter what sport it is, I think you can relate with some of the things that Brandon's talked about, and Brandon can relate with some motorsports drivers we've talked about earlier off air. There's just something in common between all these athletes, and you can really get up close and get together with some peers and some folks in other sports. And also, if you're a fan out there, you can check out Brandon and his background. And again, it's just an amazing story. Brandon, I want to ask you your top 3 songs on your iPhone right now, or music you listen to, to get pumped up to jump on one of those wild bulls. What do you got?
Top 3.
Yeah.
Before I answer that, Matt, I'd like to also just give a shout out to a sponsor I didn't miss. We're just talking about a few things, but you mentioned my awesome pictures. That, if it wasn't for him giving me my pictures, I wouldn't have nothing to promote or to push my sponsors out there. But Jim Somers Photography. He's out of Wadsworth, Ohio. Man, he takes great shots. Just want to give him a shout out.
Absolutely.
But, my top 3 songs, man. I love music. Period.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a bull rider, I don't just stick with country. I do love country.
Yeah.
The one song that gets me pumped up before I get on the bull would be Eminem song "I Am Phenomenal."
Okay.
I don't know why, it just makes chills stand up on my skin. So
there you go.
I feel like if he could do that, then something's getting my motor running. So.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for listening to the podcast today. And Brandon, thank you very much for taking the time. I really enjoyed the conversation. And again, folks, you'll be hearing a lot more about Brandon because he is our AthleteEngine ambassador for 2016. So you're going to be seeing a lot more Brandon, hearing a lot more about him. Brandon, as you're going through events, make sure you get things posted out there, and we'll make sure the folks at AthleteEngine obviously see it, but then we'll be working to help you get the message out via Twitter and Facebook as well. Again, thank you everybody for listening to the podcast, and we'll look forward to the next one. Thanks again, Brandon.
Hey, Matt, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
You've been listening to the AthleteEngine podcast, hosted by Matt Trent. If you are an athlete, coach, recruiter, or fan, be sure to check out AthleteEngine.com, where you can connect with athletes around the world. Our podcast is available on our social network at AthleteEngine.com, as well as on iTunes. You can always find previous episodes of the podcast in the archives section. Join us next week as we feature another AthleteEngine member and hear their stories of success.